Homily for the fourth Sunday of the year B. The power and authority of Christ. Our readings for this Sunday are from Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 15 to 20, 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 32 to 35, and the Gospel of St. Mark chapter 1 verse 21 to 28. In the first reading, Moses tells the people that God will raise up for them a new prophet. In the second reading, St. Paul expresses his concern that those who are married are more likely to face worldly distractions than those who are celibate. In the Gospel reading, Jesus heals a man with an unclean spirit, and his fame spreads throughout Galilee. The reign of darkness and sin. Evil reigns in the hearts of many individuals. Darkness pervades the structures of society. The devil dominates the lives of many. Terrible sins and abominations are committed by many. Violent crimes are a daily occurrence. Our generation has become so familiar with violent crimes, tragedies, and disasters that sadly, a lot of these no longer make news. This is the new phenomenon that is referred to as the globalization of insensitivity. Many individuals harbor hatred and vengeance in their hearts because they are often under the grip of the evil one, whom Jesus identifies as the prince of this world. Many relationships are ruined by the sin of pride, greed, selfishness, and lust. Many people are living a life of bitterness, resentment, malice, and unforgiveness. The prince of this world. The devil is ultimately behind the activities of not only those we call witches and wizards, but also those who kill or destroy precious lives, those who contemplate vengeance, those who perpetuate unjust structures that dehumanize the poor and the lowly, those who promote ethnic and religious bigotry, and those who promote corruption and the culture of greed and graft in our society. The prince of darkness is ultimately behind the senseless and reckless killings that are happening all over the world today. The terrorist insurgency, the banditry, the kidnapping, the armed robbery, the activities of violent cultists, the wars that are being fought in different parts of the world, as well as the terrible diseases and epidemics that are ravaging populations, causing untold pain and misery. The devil is behind the distress in many hearts, the crisis in many homes, and the tension in many relationships. The devil is behind the activities of those who promote pornography, the legalization of abortion, prostitution as a legitimate business, and all shades of sodomy, which in our day are being legalized and advertised as alternative lifestyles. It is bad enough that some people decide to make what the scriptures call sin into a lifestyle. But the greater scandal is that many are going ahead to promote and attempt to enlist children into these immoral perversions, these moral perversions. The devil is behind those who glorify promiscuity and marital infidelity. The devil is behind those who are going around destroying family life and values, those who rape, those who are into child abuse, those who are into child trafficking, as well as women trafficking. St. Peter admonishes us to be on the alert, because your enemy the devil is prowling around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to eat. Stand up to him, strong in faith. 1 Peter 5:8. And St. Paul says, for it is not against flesh and blood that we have to struggle, but against the principalities and powers who are masters of the darkness in this world, the spirits of evil in the heavens. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12. Jesus' mission to set the world free. We read in Isaiah chapter 61 verse 1 to 2, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, For the Lord has anointed me. He has sent me to bring good news to the afflicted, to soothe the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to captives, release to those in prison, and to proclaim the Lord's year of favor. This is Jesus' mission, and he fulfilled this prophecy in every way. He forgave sins, gave sight to the blind, loosened the tongues of the dumb, set free those held captive by Satan, restored dignity to the despised, and proclaimed the good news of the Lord's salvation. In Matthew 11:28-30, Jesus says, "Come to me, all who labor and are overburdened, and I will give you rest. Shoulder my yoke and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." In John chapter 8 verse 12, he says, "I am the light of the world. Anyone who follows me will not be walking in darkness, but will have the light of life." In John 8:36, he says, "If the Son sets you free, you shall be free indeed." In John 10:10, he says, "I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." And in Galatians 5:1, Paul says, "It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm, therefore, and do not submit yourself to the yoke of slavery." All these scriptures point to the fact that the mission of Jesus was to redeem the world from the grip of the evil one, to breathe a fresh breath of life upon humanity, and to restore the fractured relationship of love between God and his people. Jesus has conquered. Jesus' coming signaled the grand confrontation between the almighty power of God and the pretentious power of evil. Jesus came out triumphant. Satan is conquered. Jesus sets free those hitherto held captive. He loosens their bonds of slavery and fear and confronts those who lay heavy burdens on the lowly weak. One can therefore not be a committed Christian and be neutral in circumstances of widespread corruption and social injustice. Agents of the gospel must be constantly engaged not only in soothing the wounds of the oppressed, but also in asking questions about why the oppressed and marginalized are so treated in the first place. Jesus taught with authority because when he spoke the word, something did happen. When he spoke the word, positive change was experienced in the lives of people. Those afflicted were comforted. The brokenhearted were healed. The physically handicapped were strengthened. The blind were given new sight, and the downtrodden were uplifted. The challenge of fighting evil. Jesus came to fight and conquer evil, but the king does not fight alone. His disciples must be constantly seen to be waging war against evil in themselves and in their environment. Like Jesus, we should identify evil wherever we find it and chase it out with the force of good. We are called to chase out darkness wherever we find it with the force of the light we possess. We are called to chase out evil spirits wherever we find them with the force of the Holy Spirit. We are called upon to chase out sin and disobedience in our lives and in our environment with the force of holiness and submission. For it is better to light the candle of goodness than to cause the darkness of evil. As we look around us, with all the problems and challenges that we face in the world, some can easily conclude that evil is winning. But that is far from the truth. The devil may be the prince of this world, but Jesus has come to rescue us from his grip. He has offered himself as the perfect sacrifice to set us free from the bondage of Satan. Christ has won the battle once and for all on the cross, but we must, on our part, continue to wage the battle against personal sin and the structures of sin in our society. God bless you.